Hello everyone, I'm back here with another video on touring my several castles. This one is going to be my Dragonspyre Castle. Dragonspyre is actually my second favorite world. It was my first favorite world forever until Caramel came out. But yeah, definitely still one of my favorites, and I love it, so I had to do a castle based off of this world. So this castle, I wanted to do sort of an inspiration from Dragonspyre pre-war, you know, before all of the lava and destruction, because I really thought it was cool, and there's also not a lot on that, so it'd be interesting to do a castle inspired by that. But the problem was that there's not really a lot of inspiration to go off of. The only places I was able to get inspiration was from the dungeon that you do in the world, where you go back in time and have to retrieve something from one of the vaults. In that dungeon, it just kind of shows you like how the sky is blue instead of like dark, and some of like the grass and outdoor plants that existed back then, but not really much. The other place that I had inspiration from was the Boxes event dungeon. That one also takes you back in time to Dragonspyre, but this one kind of shows you the interior, and you can see that like the flooring and the walls sort of have more of a glossy look to them, and you get some of the house plants, I guess, that you would see there. So my issue with doing that sort of theme was that the outside of the house was extremely difficult to make it pre-war, you know, because the sky's already dark, you have all of that lava, and it was nearly impossible. So I decided to go with a different approach, which was more like the exterior of the castle is like post-war, and then the interior of the castle is pre-war. So when you're outside of the castle, you're in like modern-day Dragonspyre, and then when you go inside through the doors, it almost like takes you back in time to that castle before it was destroyed, before the war. So yeah, that's what I decided to do, and I'm pretty proud with how it came out. So I guess without further ado, enough of me talking, let's go check it out. Actually, I should say, before I jump in, the house that I purchased was one of the two houses that they offer for sale in the Dragonspyre housing shop. So I decided to go with the smaller one because I prefer to decorate smaller houses. I feel like it forces you to be more creative because there's less space, and you have to sort of, you know, figure out how to make it feel like there is more space. So I like to go with the smaller castles because there's more room for inspiration, even though there's not more room, literally. Also, I like the feeling of this one a little more. I like the setup, preferably than the big one. Okay, so let's jump in. So when you first come in, you sort of have like this entrance here. Here's like the guardian seraph. She's sort of like guarding the entrance to the castle, and, you know, keeping it protected. Actually, let me unequip my mount so you can see better. Yeah, I liked her. I thought that, you know, her colors were very Dragonspyre themed, so I decided to put her there sort of defending the castle. So this little entryway, I thought of more of like a greenhouse inspiration almost. Like maybe, you know, there were all stained glass windows surrounding it, maybe like a stained glass dome up top at one point, but, you know, after the war, most of it was destroyed, and there's a few stained glass windows left and a few of these torches, but most of it's destroyed. As we head up to the castle grounds, we have this like little bridge here. There's like this little lantern here. Here she is again, in case you wanted to see her descending the staircase, I guess. So if you come up here, you have like this like main entryway. This is like the castle grounds, I guess. You know, you have like a garden here at one point. There was a tree, but it's dead. Over here is where they had like the dragon landing, they'd, have him here to, feed him or whatever, and then they would, sort of come over here and hop onto him and ride off into the sunset, I guess. But obviously, he's dead, so he's a bone dragon. As you move over here, this was like a garden at one point, but it's all burnt and destroyed. As you move to this side, these are the specters I kind of wanted to be almost as like the castle servants that existed here at one time, and now that they're dead and everybody else is dead, they're sort of just here mourning the royal family that once lived here in this castle. There's this really big statue that I thought was really cool and really fit well in this castle, so I put it here. Okay. So as we go down this staircase, this is like the entryway into like the main village that was here where the castle is. And so here, like, these guards are dead, but at one time they guarded the entrance to the castle from this side. So obviously this village is completely destroyed. Over here, you'd once have a road that would lead to maybe that house over there, but it's destroyed and this road eroded into the lava. And over here is a house that's like completely destroyed. Just a couple bones and a book. Over here is a little lava geyser, I guess. We got a little spider and his web. Obviously you can see some of the, post-war destruction. You've got like the weapons and their helmets and stuff. Over here, also there's a little secret behind here, the silver rose. A little nod to one of my favorite worlds. As we head down here, we see like the remnants of maybe a dragon that, killed someone. It's got its like claw in a skull. It's just coming to me now how, truly dark, how truly dark this castle is. But, that's the world, so I guess it makes sense. As we head over here, we got this like, Grim Reaper guy. Here we have like a church. It's barely standing. It's kind of destroyed in here. Obviously there was a wedding that was about to happen and the war kind of interrupted it, and so they never got married, unfortunately. As we head out here, this is sort of like a back entrance to the chapel. Maybe there was some more houses over here, but it's all destroyed. Over here is like the cemetery for the church. Got some graves, ghosts, bones. Yeah, so overall this village is not doing so hot. We come back up here into the castle grounds. We're gonna go inside the castle now. Now, like I said, I wanted the inside of this castle to feel like it's, before the war, before all the destruction happened. So, it's all clean and there's pristine water and plants flowing through. So you come here, you hang up your coat or your cloak or whatever. Obviously there's this dragon guy who's living here. Over here is sort of like a planning area. Obviously this is where they scheme and come up with a plan for their battles. Over here is this really nice fountain that I made with like a dragon's head, but I had to be a little creative because most of the Dragonspyre fountains are lava, so I made this one with water. And these plants are actually inspiration taken right from that Box's Event dungeon. These are the kind of plants that they had inside there. Over here I replaced this lava pool with a water one to make it seem like it's not, so dreary. It's got a beautiful plant growing from it. Over here is the living room. There's a nice fireplace here. a nice sectional where you can come and relax by the fire. Over here is like a washroom of sorts. You have like your sink, some cleaning supplies, and then here's like a little Zen station, I guess. So as we make our way upstairs, this is sort of like the living quarters. You've got like your nice bathtub here, some Dragonspyre art, a harp to play some music as you bathe, a little baby dragon. Maybe this was, you know, the dragon, the bone dragon that's outside. Maybe this was it as a little baby. This was his little dragon doghouse, I guess, or whatever. Here's like a little like desk. You have a little Hydra statue. This is like the bedroom, I guess. It's got like these drapes to sort of give it some privacy, which you can't go through. So we'll go around it here. Here's like the bed. You've got a nice little desk where you can sort of look out the window upon the beautiful city of Dragonspyre before it was destroyed. Over here is just some knowledge crystals. Nothing too special. And as we head up here, we've got like all these stained glass windows in this walkway, and you sort of have a little like foyer here with like a plant, and just somewhere to sit. Now as we head out to the top of the tower, we've got like this big fountain here that's got the Dragonspyre flag, Dragonspyre statue, and this catapult to use, you know, during the war to, you know, fight off the dragons. You got a nice view of everything. I guess maybe if you aim it right, you can hit that dragon over there with the catapult. Yes, this is the top of the tower. You can see the destroyed village down there. So if we make our way down the tower here, character got a little stuck there. You can obviously see this is like remnants of maybe like a big wall that was here for protection, but got destroyed in the war. Here's that garden I was talking about. And yeah, that about covers the entire Dragonspyre Castle. Like I said, it's small, but you know, I really liked how it came out. Again, it's one of my favorite worlds, and I always wanted to have a Dragonspyre house, so I'm glad that I finally did it. Now, I just wanted to add something before I end this video, is with these specters here, I used pet crumbs to make them stay in place. So this is more of like a house decorating tip. So if you have a pet that you would like to see life-size, you know, act as like an actual creature, you could blow it up so you can increase the scale. Like I only did mine at 300, but you can make it even bigger. And then I bought pet crumbs, which if you go into the crown shop, they're not expensive at all. You can buy them for gold. Here they are, the pet crumb packs. You buy them for gold for like 500, and you get 7 of them, so pretty good deal. And basically what you could do is you could place them down, and then have the pets stand over them so they're not like roaming around freely. You could also like customize the kind of stance that they're making. Like, I'll do this one. Oh no, she doesn't have one. Let's see if I can click on it. Probably not, because it's in the ground. I'll try though. Oh, beautiful, we got it to work. So you can assign a pet to this pet crumb, so I can make any one of these to sign, and then you could select next breadcrumb. So if you want them to move in a certain path, you can like place a bunch of the breadcrumbs and have them move through a certain path if you want. But my favorite part of pet crumbs is you can change their behavior. So if we go to here, you could have them, you know, walking to the next pet crumb or just teleporting, or if you want to add a random pause, you could ignore the ground, which is what I do. So like if there's a ground, you don't want them to like walk on it, like you want them to maybe like float above the ground, like fly, you could do that. And my favorite part is the emotions. You could, have it be normal, you can have it be happy, sad, bored, curious. So you can really customize the way that you want your creature to look in your house. So that's a really fun technique. So that's why I incorporated them here, to make it seem like the servants are mourning the loss of the, family that lived here that they served. So that's just a little house decorating tip. Definitely cool to use. Like I said, if you want to put creatures in your house, but they're not available through Monstrology, maybe you have the pet that resembles that creature, you could just increase its size to resemble that creature and use that. So yeah, that's a cool feature. Anyways, that's about it for this house. I hope you guys enjoyed this tour, and please let me know if you have any suggestions about how I should do my tours in the comments. If you'd like to see more of this content, please let me know. And this house is on the castle tours, so if you are touring castles and you see it, please give it a rating. I really appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and have a great day. Thank you.